The gentleman from California.
Mr. Speaker, at this time I'm happy to yield 3 minutes to my good friend from Texas, Mr. Paul.
The gentleman from Texas is recognized for 3 minutes.
I thank the chairman for yielding, and I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, today I rise in support of the rule. I believe 2 days of debate on this very important issue is about as fair as you can get. I know a lot of people aren't satisfied with the rule, but I think under the circumstances it's fair, and I will support the rule. However, I'm not optimistic that much good will come out of the next 2 days of debate. I think there's a lot of mischief going on here. I see that one half of this Congress is quite capable and anxious to defend the First Amendment, and I think that's good. I see the other half of the Congress quite anxious and capable of defending the Second Amendment, and I think that's good. But it seems strange because I see these two groups coming together in a coalition to pass a bill that will undermine the First Amendment and undermine the Second Amendment. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because I think that we're obligated here in the Congress to defend both the First and the Second Amendment, and not here for the purpose of undermining both amendments. We should be reminded, though, that traditionally, up until the middle part of this century, crime control was always considered a local issue. That's the way the Constitution designed it. That's the way it should be. But every day we write more laws up here building the national police force. We now have more than 80,000 bureaucrats in this country carrying guns. We are an armed society, but it's the federal government that is armed. So I think we should think seriously before we pass more laws, whether they undermine the First Amendment or whether we pass more laws undermining the Second Amendment. We don't need more federal laws. Recently, there was a study, a bipartisan study put out and chaired by Ed Meese. And he is not considered a radical libertarian. And he had a statement, and he was quoted in an editorial here in the Washington Post, as to what we here in the Congress are doing with nationalizing our police force. He says the basic contention of the report, which was produced by a bipartisan group headed by former Attorney General Edward Meese, is that Congress's tendency in recent decades to make federal crimes out of offenses that have historically been state matters has dangerous implications both for the fair administration of justice and for the principle that states are something more than mere administrative districts of a national government. Along with this, we have also heard the Supreme Court Justice Rehnquist say the same thing. He says the trend to federalize crimes that traditionally have been handled in state courts threaten to change entirely the nature of our federal system. We are bound and determined to continue this trend. It looks like we are going to do it today. We are going to have a lot of rules and regulations on both the First and Second Amendment.
I'm happy to yield my friend an additional minute.
Thank you very much for that.
One additional minute.
We are bound and determined to write more rules and regulations dealing with the First and the Second Amendment, and I do not see this as a good trend. It is said today that those who want to undermine the First Amendment, that it is already established that pornography is not protected under the First Amendment. And today the goal is to make sure that depiction of violence is not protected under the First Amendment. But do you know the main causes of violence in the world throughout history has been the abuse of religion and the abuse of philosophy? So therefore, the next step, if we can limit the depiction of pornography and then violence, next it will be the limitation of the depiction of a philosophy that deals with religion or philosophy such as communism or other fascism. I say today we should move carefully and not undermine either the First or the Second Amendment. Thank you.
Time of the gentleman has expired.